Damon, guitarist, vocalist in Virtue. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, brother. How you doing?
Good. It's good to have you on. So last time you guys came and hung out in studio with us, it was like May of 2023. You were on the road with Imminence, and you guys stopped by to see us. You drove all night to see us, hang out with us before you played in St. Louis a little bit later on that night. Do you remember the drive for that? Because I remember talking to your management at the time, and I was like, dude, like, there is an entire storm system the entire length of the state of Illinois. Illinois is a very long state, and there's tornado warnings, watches, thunderstorm warnings. What do you guys remember about the drive to come hang out with us early in the morning?
Well, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't remember shit because I slept.
Okay.
But I do know that, like anything else, like those are long nights. I know Mike and Tyler were fried. Like, I just remember waking up and being like, where are we? What are we doing? What's happening? And, that's kind of how it is sometimes. Is like you just get from point A to point B. You really haven't fully slept or rest. And at the very minimum, like you said, you have friendly faces to look forward to. You're talking, you're having fun. And then you kind of, snap into it and you realize like, oh, okay. We're here to talk about music. We're here to talk about, just have fun with it. So, but I do remember Ollie, at that time being like, yeah, this is going to be a little brutal, but it'll be worth it. So, if you guys can make it work, let's do it. And I was like, yeah, cool. That's fine by me.
Yeah, that's Thomas. Dude, I have no idea who's driving in the band right now, who's awake, who's not awake. But dude, if they got to get off the side of the road, they got to go under an overpass or get underneath the overpass, whatever it happens to be. They got to get to somewhere off the highway. Dude, it's nuts. If they got to delay getting here like an hour, we'll figure out a way. They've got shows and stuff to do. So is that the can you remember any bad weather you've driven in where it's whether it's massive snowstorms or what's kind of been the biggest hurdle when it comes to on the road, and you get hit with a storm, whether it's thunderstorm warnings, hey, we might have a tornado touching down somewhere by us or anything like that.
We've driven through all kinds of weather, especially if you've ever toured in the Pacific Northwest. That in and of itself can be hell because it's trying to get up into Washington or going to Vancouver, all those places. It's you're going through mountain passes and it could be white out where you can only see 3 feet in front of you the entire time. And you're going uphill with big rigs, sometimes you have snow tires, sometimes you don't. I remember this is actually, for me personally, just cause it was very bad. I think I want to say it was actually later that year? I think so. We were coming back from Australia and we touched down in LA. We drove to Vegas. And then from there, we drove from Vegas back home. But going through Colorado, because you're going through Vail, it was fine until it wasn't. And Mike and Tyler, they were asleep, bless their souls. And I just remember white knuckling through a mountain pass for 3.5 hours. But and again, I could only go 35 miles an hour. It's I could see this far in front of me, 2 feet, just nastiness. And then it was weird because it cleared up just like that. And I'm pulling over and I'm done driving.
Somebody else can take over.
Yeah, exactly. I was nope. I've officially gotten us through the worst part, so we're good.
I know, talking to the guys in Blacktop Mojo, they're 4 days into this run of a 3-week thing, and a couple of the guys stopped in studio years ago, and they're like, yeah, dude, the heat went out on our bus. They're just like you. They're talking about they were going from, I think it was Colorado Springs to a couple shows, one in Iowa, then in Green Bay, Wisconsin is where they went to next, and the Blacktop Mojo guys lost heat in the vans or in the van and the bus. So it's 45 degrees inside the bus. So have you guys ever had to deal with that where it's what you're potentially sleeping in has also lost power and you're trying to figure out what to do?
You're talking about the last 2 tours that we did. We had we had a Cruise America, and literally 3 days into the trip, the generator went out. And, you're talking about it being in July and we're down in, New Orleans and Florida. Oh, no. And have no power, no air conditioning. Refrigerator started going out because the propane line was messed up. So it's like, yeah, trust me, we've had anything that you could possibly think of as far as lose power, lose air, lose, have your vehicle just literally stop. Back in the day, we actually had a situation where the battery just straight up like disconnected while we were driving, and it's like the van just shut down.
Oh my
Like
gosh.
we had to just coast right off to the side of the road and just, yeah, it was brutal, man. So
All worth it though. Like all worth it though to get out and play for people and obviously live a life of musician. All worth it though.
oh, absolutely. And that's the thing is like in the moment, not so fun.
Yeah.
When you look back on it, and it's like if you can get through it without there being any type of major catastrophe, then it just turns into like a, hey, you know what, that was a growth point in the character arc here, so make it work.
Love it. You guys got new music out. Omen came out in 2023. It's been a little while since we've had something from you guys, and you guys had a bunch of singles from that record. And it's still one that multiple songs. I've got to get the gym playlist going again because I know there's some from you guys. I got to get back on there. But Death of the Altar's new track from you guys, first one in a couple of years. What do you want to share about this tune? What's something good you'd want our listeners to know about it?
Oh man, well, one, thank you guys for including it, having it. It's long time coming. This one is kind of a special one because when I was talking to the rest of the guys and we were making this song, it's like, we try to come up with things that can encapsulate like something that we've all experienced or are experiencing at the moment. And the concept itself, it's like we kind of stumbled into like, whether it's political, whether it's like touching on what's going on in like our current climate and everything else. Sometimes we are conscious of that, sometimes we're not. In this case, it's like, you'll have these moments where you just realize like we all kind of fall into the same pitfalls, the same traps and same things. It's like, hey, there was a moment we were in the studio and it's like we're all just doom scrolling on our phones, or we're all like, sucked into whatever's happening at the moment. And like we have the conversation and we actually place the energy into like some things or places or topics or things, that are important, but then you look back on it and you go, wow, I can't believe I really just did that. And then you kind of can start to apply it to whole things of like, how often do we place importance on things or put things on, quote unquote, like godlike pedestals or, in places that they shouldn't be because they give us a specific feeling. So we then are tricked into believing that without it, we can't, survive or we can't live. And it's like, that could apply to relationships, that could apply to other people, religions, it could apply to the daily news cycles, your political leaders, what they're feeding you and promising you and telling you. And then you realize like, oh shoot, some of the stuff's not coming true. But at the same time, if I acknowledge that I'm wrong, I also have to admit the fact that me putting them in this position was wrong in the first place. And I don't want to be wrong twice. So now I double down and I keep spewing out the same stupid stuff, even though it's been proven wrong,
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's talking about this kind of like weird cyclical feedback loop that we're all a part of in some degree, and it's the acknowledgement of, hey, like what can we do to try to change it? Or is there anything that we can do? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I don't think there's anything wrong with admitting you're wrong. Like, I don't know how else you really learn sometimes. Like there's really nothing, but like, I'm glad that you guys are bringing this to attention because it's a good topic of just like, oh man, people are so afraid to either break out from, they want to feel like they're part of whatever crowd they're part of. Like you said, whether it's politics, whatever it happens to be, you can be sports teams. I mean, you can, whatever. It's just like, it's okay to admit that things are wrong, like, and move on with life.
It can't, but that's, it's admitting that to yourself sometimes can be a little easier, but it's the fact that when you have to try to do it publicly or just, again, you have to come to the realization or with the fact that sometimes it challenges your actual belief system, a way that you've grown up. And that's a hard thing for anybody, to acknowledge the fact that like, if you're telling somebody, hey, your whole life, your whole ethos is wrong or misguided, that's a bitter pill as well. And it's not as easy to change because then everything that's in your life is structured around these core beliefs or this thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, if you've ever been in a bad relationship or whatever it is, it's like you could have been that person, or you dated a person where it's like you're their entire world. Like you are the sun, the moon, the stars, the source of camaraderie, friendship, you know, financial support, whatever it is. And it's like the moment that that's gone, like you can't function or they can't function. And that's not healthy. That's not good. But for some people, that's their way of life. That's how they've grown up living. That's how their concept of love and attachment and connection is built on this kind of like solar system. And we treat other people and other things that way too. And it's, you know, again, like you said, it's not wrong to acknowledge that you might be ignorant to something or something might be wrong. But once you're getting into some of these bigger topics and bigger things, it's not so much acknowledging the fact that you're wrong or admitting that. It's what's your world or what's going on around you or how your place in it and how you exist in it can be misguided. And how do you go about changing that? That's a lot harder than, you know, just simply saying like, oh man, I messed this up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's a lot going into it. And again, man, we get you guys on Artist Spotlight next Friday, the 27th. We get you guys on New on Q as well with this track. The music video for it, you guys have shared a little bit of behind the scenes stuff for it. Tyler is oblivious to some things that are happening behind him. So what are you able to share about the music video? Obviously the music video's out now. You guys are getting drenched at one point in it. But what happened behind the scenes at one point that made everything stop for a little while?
Oh man, a couple things. Well, we were in Dallas, Texas. There's a place called Bold Studios. We were shooting with our friends Alex and Michael, and you know there was supposed to be a lot more fire in the video, and there's these like beautiful little like tapestries that are going on in the background of the video. And at one point in time, some of like the druid people guys in the background, they're holding these torches. The fire actually burned through one of the torches and just fell on the ground and started to light one of the tapestries on fire, which if you could, you know, we shared a little piece of it. Michael like literally almost drops his like, you know, $100,000 camera, however much it costs, and was like, I gotta get this out, because if that thing would have went up, it's like you're talking about, you know, something that is interwoven into the set that's around like 15 feet high. That whole place would have went up in flames. Like, and Tyler's just doing his thing. He's just sitting there performing, whatever. The hilarious part for me, I'm actually in the backstage area getting changed in the bathroom. So I'm oblivious to everything that's happening. Like, no clue. I come out and I just smell smoke. I hear people kind of like frantically like scuffling. The music stops. The lights are on. I'm like, what just happened? And they have to open up the bay doors so they can let it ventilate. The owner was super sick, so shout out to him. He comes in. He's like, you know, we've had a few miscues and mishaps every now and then, but no more fire, guys. And we're like, yeah, it's fine. You know,
Can't argue with that. No,
because we still had like a whole half a day to shoot too. So it's like, well, let's not, you know, mess this up. It would have been sick to get more.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just take what you can get.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody got hurt in it, which is good. And you know, you mentioned Tyler. Obviously, people have seen you guys. Obviously, do you handle a lot of vocals in this band? You know, obviously Tyler handles a lot of vocals in this band as well. I don't think we talked about this when you guys came in studio. How do you guys kind of go in and handle the dual vocals on things? Like, what's the process for you and him whenever it comes to a Virtue song?
It just depends on the type of song that it is. I think by this point now we've kind of identified like what style of song, you know, could potentially work the best for either one of our, you know, styles or whatever it is. And then sometimes you get ones where like, you know, with Alter specifically, it's like it has a bit of everything. Like that's the nice thing about like that one being the first single that we're going to put out, or, you know, did put out, is like it has the heaviness, it has, you know, the big choruses, but you know, Tyler has great range, so he's able to sing these big hooks with an aggression that, you know, you need that kind of like that grit, that like kind of almost like Chester from Linkin Park style, like a little more extra push behind it. And then it also gives me some room to like, hey, okay, you don't have to do just choruses, do this. It's like I can navigate and kind of expand my wings into some of these verses. We can weave in and out of each other like we did in our older songs. So really, it's kind of just playing it by ear. And thankfully, you know, neither one of us really, like, obviously, as a musician, everybody has like an ego.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for us, we put it aside in the sake for the sake of the song. And it's like, we'll have some songs on this record that are just him only, and he'll do his thing. And then there's a couple songs that actually just have me only, so it showcases a different side. And then everything else, it'll be like us being able to blend and weave and do all this. And it's kind of cool too, because then people can start to, you know, they can differentiate who's doing what. And then when you see us live, it's like we can, you know, and this is probably like the most economic of the way that I can say it, is like, you know, neither one of us is tasked with doing everything. So it saves us in a way where I can do my stuff, he can do his stuff, we can help each other out live, and then each day we can be consistent and give 110%, because neither one of us is having to max out every single time. So
it's good though. I just saw 3 Days Grace with Adam for the first time finally, like a little bit over a year ago, and seeing how you know, I've been able to see you guys live and how you and Tyler work together, which is cool. And everyone's wondering like, oh, how does this work with two vocalists? And, you know, one guy takes a step back, the other guy, you know, puts a little bit more in. So it's cool. Like what you're describing, it's like, it's cool getting to see that in action. So like, I mean, is this something that you guys kind of always want to get to, or maybe like, hey man, maybe there's sometimes there's songs with him, there's songs with me. Is it something that you guys always kind of wanted to do when Tyler joined up? He's been in the band almost a decade now. So it's like, it's kind of crazy to think about, but like, that the kind of that progression of this 10 years with him too. I can't say that it always has been like that. It's been growth, man. Like when he first joined us, like he was just really a screamer, but you know, we emphasize like, hey, like we want you to be able to sing or be able to do certain things. And he expressed to us at that time too, like, I want to learn, I want to grow. I don't want to just be this one thing. And I think it's just the willingness and the want to get better has lent itself to, you know, the doors being open. And then as he's gotten better, I've also gotten better. So it's like, we're kind of on this like parallel track of like, let's see what we can do, and, you know, put our powers together and, you know, make the best music possible. That's at the end of the day, that's the goal, man, is whatever services the song the best, we're going to make it happen. We're going to make it work. So awesome. And you mentioned that, you know, everybody has to have a little bit of ego. I think you do in this industry, like radio, you have to have a little bit, you know, if you're in an industry where you're entertaining people, whatnot, you have to have some, but like you mentioned, putting that aside is such a huge thing, and looking forward to checking out more from you guys. Like you said, there's somewhere you're just taking over, he's taking over. You mentioned an album. What are you able to, obviously Death of the Altar just came out not that long ago, but are you able to share any dates, album titles, anything like that when it comes to a new record?
Not yet.
Okay.
But we will have some new music coming a lot sooner than later. So like we're in the cycle now. We're going to start getting things out very quickly. And trust me, we can't wait to get this stuff rolling. Cause, you know, like I said, it's been a little while. It's been a couple of years since Omen. We know people have been waiting, but we want to make sure everything was just right before we, you know, launched off again. So
exactly. And I don't know, dude, you guys grind a lot too. Like, man, you guys play a lot of shows, you do a lot of things. So like, obviously I would imagine kind of what's 2026 look like, hitting the road wise, you know, a lot more shows this year. Is it kind of, or are you guys being selective about it? What are you looking to do?
A little selective, but we're going to have stuff coming up here in the spring and summer that can't really announce yet, but then also have a really cool opportunity in the fall. So again, once I'm given the green light by the people that are shining the red dots on my head right now, telling me not to say anything, then you know, you guys have been first to know. So
awesome. I appreciate it. What's it been like to have a little bit of downtime though? You know, like, I mean, you know, are you going crazy? You've been able to enjoy it? What do you kind of been able to take
working, man? Like, you know, people, it's kind of hilarious because, you know, we work around town, Tyler and I, Mike, and it's like when people see us, they're like, oh, you know, hey, there you are. And it's like, yeah, we're normal people, man. In real life, it's like we go to work, we do our things, just trying to pay our bills, get our lives in order, get the next phase of the band going while we have some time, spend time with our families. Because, when you are going 110, it's like you're going to miss out on some events. You're going to miss out on, it's nice to go to concerts. We're going to go see 3 Days Grace next week.
Nice.
When they come to Michigan, we got our friends in the Funeral Portrait are opening. So that'll be fun. Get a chance to, go there, support them. Home dudes and I Prevail. We don't get a chance to go to a lot of concerts in our free time. So when we can, it's do something like that. Just enjoy ourselves, man. Because like I said, once the train's going, it doesn't stop. So
yeah, awesome. Well, dude, I'm glad you guys had some downtime, but obviously very much looking forward to everything you've got coming on up. And glad Death of the Altar is out there. You guys have had some new changes in behind the works for some things too, and it seems like things are going really well on that, which is awesome, dude. You guys deserve it. Where can everybody follow you guys? Obviously, socials, website. People want to support you guys on stuff. Where can everybody get that done?
Oh yeah, we do have a website. It's called ofvirtueband.com. Everything else, you can go on just at @virtue. So TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, X, Twitter, YouTube. Go watch the new Death of the Altar video. Anywhere that you can type in Of Virtue into a search engine, you'll be able to find us, stream us, Spotify, Apple Music, all the good places, even some random little ones here and there. So.
Awesome. Dude, we're looking forward to when you can tell me more about things. I'd like to just be like, hey, what can you say at this point? What can you say? Instead of trying to get you guys in trouble for things. But, man, you guys are getting back on the air here with us, QLZ, 27th, Friday the 27th, 8:30, 1:30, 7:30 Central Time for the air spotlights. Get you new on Q, Saturday night show as well. So, Damon, appreciate your time, man.
Hey, appreciate you, brother. Thank you for having us.